And this is Christine Marie Odell, and I am coming to you from the Feminine Healing Temple. And this is where I teach women how to walk the Divine Detox Success path. So I welcome you. I am a Divine Detox Goddess, and I welcome all of you Divine Detox Goddesses to my little talk today, which is going to be about how to increase kidney and adrenal function. And the reason that I want to go into this topic today is, as a detox specialist and iridologist, I am always helping women with kidney filtering. And I'm always helping them to get that lymphatic fluid moving, so that we can move all of the mucus and toxins and acids out of your body and help you create radiant health. So today I'm going to talk about specifically how the kidneys and the adrenals function together in tandem to help offset inflammation, acidosis, and to be able to move your stagnant lymph through your kidneys, filtering properly. When your kidneys and adrenals are both weak, you are going to experience acidosis and stagnation of your lymphatic fluids throughout your body. So what I'm going to do today is, I have my Dr. Morse's Miracle Source Book in front of me. I'm going to refer you to the pages that I'm going to just read a few excerpts from, because I want you to hear from Dr. Morse's mouth exactly how the kidneys and the adrenals function together. Here's a kidney. Here's that little pyramid of adrenal that are sitting on top of your kidney. They work together. I will admit that I am seeing a lot of people talking about getting the kidneys to filter. We're obsessed with getting the kidneys to filter. And honestly, I have to say that we're just really obsessed with that. Yes, it is very important, but a lot of people are not addressing the adrenals, which also have to be functioning properly for your kidneys to filter and for you to offset whatever is going on in this stagnant, congested lymph system. So let me talk about that for a few minutes so that you can understand the role of the adrenals along with the kidneys. So on page 45 of Dr. Morse's Miracle Source Book, he is talking about the adrenal glands. This is part of his discussion about the endocrine system, and there's a lot more. I could talk all day about the endocrine system and the dysfunction of the endocrine system in most women and actually most people around the world. This is almost at what I would call a pandemic proportions right now, and it's one of the reasons why so many of you are struggling with your detox and eating a high fruit diet. So here we go. Adrenal glands. An adrenal gland is located on top of each kidney, and except for the pituitary gland, the adrenals are possibly the most important glands in the body. And I totally agree with that. I think it is the most important gland. Yes, your pituitary is sort of that overall endocrine gland that helps to control the function of all the other glands. But the adrenal gland is the one that most of us are having really big challenges with. So he says the reason for this is twofold. First, they produce neurotransmitters which are essential for brain and nerve function. These neurotransmitters include epinephrine, that's adrenaline, and these are hard words to say, norepinephrine and dopamine, which affect the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, turning nerve responses on or off. So when this is all out of whack, is it on? No, it's off. Okay, so this affects almost all tissues in the body. Yes, from the adrenals. It's affecting all the tissues in the body, including the heart, the vascular system, the intestines, the skin, and the kidneys. Hear that? The kidneys. So if your kidneys aren't filtering, think that might have something to do with dysfunctional adrenals? You bet. The sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems comprise the two divisions of the autonomic nervous system, which we call the ANS. This system regulates your unconscious or involuntary tissue actions like pupil dilation and constriction, heartbeat, and breathing. Some of you are telling me that you have these heart palpitations and arrhythmias and so forth going on, and that you're having breathing problems or that you can't get your breath. See how it's all tied together? Okay, so I'm going to skip down here and I'm going to say the second reason for the importance of the adrenal glands is the cortex. That's the outer portion that produces the cortical type steroids or hormones. And I know if you've been following, you've been hearing me talk about the cortical steroids, and that when those are off, then your adrenals are not producing the anti-inflammatories that you need for your acidosis. So here's what's going on. These hormones include glucocorticoids, which is your cortisol and your cortisone, and that's for the carbohydrate utilization. Aldosterone, which is regulating our electrolytes, sodium and potassium. The estradiol, which is an estrogen, and progestins, including the progesterone. Okay, so many of these steroids act as anti-inflammatory compounds, which are vital to combating inflammatory processes within the body. We are talking about the adrenals here. Okay, so these steroids affect muscle, nerve, gastrointestinal, and cardiovascular tissues. So, cortisol, for example, is a catabolic hormone or a steroid that initiates change and activates breakdown. Cortisol also aids in the conversion of fat and protein to glucose. Cortisol is one of the adrenal gland's steroids that mediates inflammation. So the catabolic, which is the breakdown process in the body, generally causes acidosis, hence inflammation. This process can produce a great amount of inflammation and tissue damage. So, when we read your eyes and we say that, you've got damage or you've got some kind of, we see the lymphatic stagnation, and we see that you might have other damage going on in your systems. This is going to show up in your eyes. So this damage stimulates the adrenal glands to increase cortisol production, which then can cause further inflammation. So can you see how this is all tying together? How if your adrenals are not functioning and working in tandem with your kidneys, you're going to be having some kidney dysfunction as well. Okay, so there's a couple more things that I just want to read here. Also, excess production of cortisol from the adrenal glands can affect blood pressure by increasing or reducing the loss of sodium in the urine, because cortisol increases protein breakdown and decreases protein synthesis. So a lot of times you're hearing people say, please, please, please stay off the high protein foods that we can't digest easily, like, meat and dairy, a lot of beans and nuts and so forth, and, the really high protein grains, because your adrenals are going to get burned out trying to digest those kinds of food. So it affects all the other tissues in the body. Especially hard hit is your muscle tissue, and all this is initiated by acidosis and heads one down the road to disease and degeneration. So all of that's going on. You've got lymphatic stagnation, you've got acidosis, you've got degeneration, and it's like this hamster wheel you're on, right? Is that what it feels like to you right now? You're on this hamster wheel and you can't seem to get off. So it affects aging of the skin, promotes osteoporosis, and reduces the production of thyroid hormone, another endocrine gland, which eventually leads to hypothyroidism. Got that too? Yeah, you probably do. So it says, remember, the thyroid gland is responsible for the body's calcium utilization. So if you have excessive cortisol, if you're getting burned out with your adrenals, remember that the caffeine in the sodas and the teas and the chocolate and so forth are going to contribute to these adrenal challenges and dysfunctions as well. So, one more thing that I want to say, because I've been having a number of you asking about cholesterol lately, and this will address that as well. All of these steroid type hormones are synthesized from cholesterol, which also acts like or is used by the body in an anti-inflammatory agent or lipid. Dr. Morse talks a lot about lipids in his videos and in his training and so forth. So he says all things happen for a reason. If your cholesterol is building up on vascular walls or in tissues, what does that tell you? Remember that cholesterol is an anti-inflammatory agent or lipid. If it is building up in your body, or if your liver is producing too much of it, this tells you that you have too much inflammation in your body. Okay? Closing the book. I am going to tell you now what I would do if I were you and I was having trouble with kidneys filtering, trouble with adrenals being totally dysfunctional, your entire endocrine system, your nervous system, all these things all need to be worked on. And so you already know, eat a high fruit diet or an all fruit diet. But I'm going to just highlight a few things here that I think are really important that people are missing because they're so busy following these fad detox diets to help get kidneys filtering that they're missing what I call the slow, safe, and sensible detox protocol that you need to do to get your kidneys filtering, to get your adrenals and endocrine system back online, and to get that lymphatic stagnation and all that gunk moving out of your body. First thing, yes, is the fruit. I myself do what I call Sunny Citrus Delight. It is a juice. It is mostly oranges, some grapefruit, and at least one lemon every day. That is a very astringent, alkaline juice that can really help your kidneys, your adrenals, and the movement of lymphatic fluid. It is a total lymphatic buster. I also drink a little bit of celery juice as well. I know some of you are seeing the popularity of that, which actually is another thing that's kind of a fad, but I will say that it can be very helpful. So you can also get some celery juice in there. That's going to help clean out a lot of stuff in your body. The second thing I do, which I am doing right now because it's summertime, is I really concentrate heavily on watermelon or watermelon juice. I concentrate very heavily on organic dark grapes or grape juice. In the summertime, when I can get good watermelons that are in season, when I can get organic red grapes that are in season, I can usually get all of this from June through September, maybe even into October. So this is my time that I really, really concentrate on using those fruits because I can't get them in the wintertime, and I will not use watermelons or non-organic grapes in the wintertime. So right now, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, you should be getting all of these things in your local markets, whether it's health food market or it's just, a regular grocery store. You should be able to find most of these things. So that's the food and fruit part of it that I think is really important. Yes, there's other fruits that are great. You know, Dr. Morse always talks about getting those berries in there for brain food, and because they are really good antioxidants and so forth, that's great. Add all those things as well. Second thing I want to talk about is the herbal protocols that I feel are really important. Now, there's a lot of herbs that are really great for your adrenals, and I'm not going to go into all of that here. That's something that I would need to work with you one-on-one, or perhaps even in my membership group, to just kind of give you an overview of what herbs are good to be using for kidneys and adrenals and trying to get all of the filtration going and so forth. But I want to talk about the importance of Dr. Morse's herbal kits. They are made for the general public, so when I write specific customized protocols for women, I am usually adding in some adrenal or other gland formulas in order to help them really get things moving, because those formulas don't come until later in the deep tissue kits. So either you should be beginning with a Fab 4 kit, or you should be using the weekly, or they're actually bi-weekly. They go weeks 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4, and 5 and 6, and so forth. Those kits are what are going to get the your entire body systems detoxing, cleansing out the cells, tissues, organs, and so forth, and begin to regenerate them. Will you regenerate on fruit? To an extent. Will you regenerate and completely heal your endocrine system and all of those glands? It's pretty hard without the herbal formulas. So I'm just going to say they're very important, that the adrenal formula doesn't come in the deep tissue kits, I think, until week 7 or 8 or something like that. And I feel that most women need to get that going right from the beginning. So kidneys, adrenals, the two most important things for you to be working on so that you can get them increasing their function, which is going to help you, number 1, with kidney filtration, and number 2, with getting your adrenals to produce the proper corticosteroids that are the anti-inflammatories that will offset acidosis and begin to allow your body to let go of all of the toxins, mucus acids, parasites, and so forth that are in your stagnant lymphatic system. So, as you can see, it's a simple process, but it might not be easy. So, if you are having any kinds of challenges and you would like help from me, I do detox consults and coaching. You can get iridology or eye readings. You can get a customized herbal protocol and diet. And I have a very low cost membership group. It's a detox membership group just for women. And we come together in a Facebook group as a collective of women, a collective of wonderful, compassionate, loving women. And we work on our detox together. So you can find that information below, and you can click on that link and you can just find your way to any of those services that I offer. So I invite you, if you feel like you'd like to go a little deeper with me, to do that. Meantime, I send you all my love, all my compassion, all of my hope for your healing. I know that you may be on a challenging detox and healing journey. I've been there, I've done that, and so I know it can be hard and that you may need support along the way. So thank you. I am honored. I am so honored to help you, and I send you a big namaste.